gamers, today we're going to be talking about the ladder and tournament win rates since January 30th. So there's been some obviously changes, some meta changes, some balance changes, and I kind of wanted to check quickly on the ladder win rates, but I'm also going to focus on the tournament win rates because those are kind of more fresh. So this is for all levels from January 30th onwards. We got AOE4 at the top. So we've had multiple civs, if I remember correctly, at like 55% win rate. Now we got AOE4 at 53.8, JD at 53.8, Ottoman 52.9, OTD at 52.5, Japanese, Mongol, Delhi, Jushi Legacy, English. At the end, we have China, French, and Byzantines at 47.4%, which used to be like 40%, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look at the different ranks. AOE4 has higher win rate in Gold League than JD. OTD is pretty high up, and I've talked about this before why this is, or why this would be the case if it does happen. It's because OTD, you're dealing with less units. It's a lot easier to micromanage and macromanage because you just have less stuff to deal with. So it's easier to play. Even though OTD, I think at the high level, is really hard to play because of the same reasons. You have less stuff to work with. But at low levels, it makes it so that people can, handle this stuff a lot easier and sort their stuff easier. We see Byzantines in 48.7%. Again, it used to be around 40%, but with the recent changes and, like I said, people learning how to play Byzantines more and more, learning what their strengths are, I said the win rate will increase, and well, the win rate did increase. And the lowest win rate is China and French and English, actually, surprisingly, in gold. In platinum, we got Ottoman, AOE4, JD, so more or less the same. You can see OTD dropping a couple of percentages. Byzantines is now at the bottom. Diamond, same thing. Same top three, nothing's changed, but OTD continues to kind of plummet in win rates. English goes up, Byzantines goes down a bit. Conqueror, which is, I guess this is all Conquerors, right? So Conqueror 1, 2, and 3. Ottoman at the highest win rate, which is not really surprising. Mongol at 53%, which again is not really surprising. Mongol, I think, is very, very good civ for the ladder, simply because a lot of people are like testing stuff on the ladder in Conqueror, and if you go Mongol and you just tower rush, it's very easy to lose against it if you haven't played against it, but Mongol is also very good. JD is at 52%, so it dropped quite a lot. It used to be like 55%, I think. AOE4 at 52, English. Japanese has a positive win rate, which I'm a bit surprised about. And then we have French and Byzantines and OTD at the bottom. So you can kind of see what I mean with OTD. In early leagues, it's quite high win rate, and then the higher you go in rank, it actually drops down in win rates because it's harder to pull off. And you can see people are playing it a decent amount, but it just ain't there. Overall, I would say the game at the Conqueror level, considering we have 16 civilizations and so many different maps and potential civ matchups, I would say it's pretty balanced. I think Ottoman and French, maybe OTD, are probably suffering or struggling the most. But this is at the Conqueror rank. Now, there's another rank we can check, which is Conqueror 4, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is 1.7k ELO plus. So you're not going to have as many games here, but it will only count games from 1.7k plus. So this is like beyond Conqueror 3, basically. And JD has 56% win rate, which is quite interesting. Now, Cascade says it's basically top 125 accounts. Okay. So it's like top 60 players win rates in the game, because most of those are probably second accounts. So JD is a very good tournament civ. I think it's just it's not OP, it's not bad, it's just a solid pick at the top level. And I think people are learning how to play JD with like more macro with 2 town centers and stuff like that. So yeah, I think 56% I'm a bit surprised about, but at the same time, it is a good civ, and especially similar to Mongol if you play it on ladder, where you're going like for super early pressure, and if opponent slips up, then suddenly JD is leveling and then there's an issue. Ottoman, I'm a bit surprised that it's only at 52%, to be fair. Then we have Malians, which is very strong Civ in tournaments. We have Mongols, also very strong Civ. Rus. Now, Rus is a bit of a weird one, and Ottoman at the same time. And I think part of the reason why they're not higher win rates is because the top players don't play those Civs on ladder. And the reason that we don't play them is because they're currently pretty much permanently banned in tournaments. So people at the top level don't play them. So I would say top 15, 20 players, you're not going to see a lot of Ottoman nor Rus. And their win rate is still positive. So, yeah. OTD is at 51%. By the way, OTD is like carried by a few players in win rates. Most players have negative win rate, and then some players have pretty high win rate with them. And then overall, Byzantines is at 49.2%. If you haven't watched the patch video, Byzantines just got buffed as well. So that's going to be very worrisome and interesting to see. HRE. Now this is a very, very confusing one, and I think I know why this is. And then we have French at 40%, and I think French overall probably needs some kind of buff. I do think it is struggling at every single league, like Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Conqueror, Conqueror 4, and in tournaments. And I think when a Civ is performing better everywhere, that's kind of telling, right? The same thing if it's performing super well everywhere, then like Ottoman, then it's the same thing. So Ayubit is a bit surprising, and it has 725 games. Now, the reason why I say Ayubit is surprising is because Ayubit is getting picked quite a bit in tournaments, and a lot of people are considering it like a top tier Civ. I think maybe the reason, this is just speculating, obviously I don't have proof, the reason why Ayubit has 45.7% win rate is because people have been testing and learning Ayubit quite a lot. Like, I've played a lot of matches against Ayubit on the ladder because some of the wings in the last patch were changed. So people were testing like military wing into eco wing, military wing into castle wing. People were testing with 2TC. People were testing castle rushes. They were testing feudal aggression. So I think a lot of the players were learning how to play it properly in a way. That's the only thing I can think of, because I think it's probably a lot better than it shows regarding win rates. Now, this is the Elite Classic tournament that is ongoing right now. And these are the stats for the civs. That we have stats for the players and stats per map as well. So Order of the Dragon is the strongest civilization in the game. As you can see, it has 66.7% win rate. Kappa, it's only because there's only 3 games played. Now, second civilization with more games played and with 12 bans, 23 games played, 12 bans, 65% win rate is Byzantines. And I think it hasn't even been a month when people were making fun of me for saying Byzantine is incredibly strong. It's broken when you get to Castle Age untouched. There was even Reddit threads calling me out that, I don't know what I'm talking about. And now that we have a tournament, Byzantine has very high win rate. This is only going to increase. Because again, we just got a patch that buffs Byzantines further. So this will be to the point where I think people might start banning Byzantines in tournaments. So we'll see. Delhi is at 61.5%, 32 and 20 win rate, 42 bans actually. By the way, I do want to say something. The bans are not as impactful or as important as the previous tournaments. So the reason why bans are not as important is because when you're playing the tournament right now, each side has 4 bans, okay? So it's a ban, and then you pick, then you ban again. So usually in the previous tournaments, when I looked at the tournament win rates and bans and all that, you would see like 2 civs having pretty much all bans, and that's it. Now you're going to see a lot more different civs being banned because we have 4 bans per side for individually for player. So you're going to see a lot more wild stuff happening basically. Delhi's been banned 42 times. So Byzantine, when you look at it, hasn't been banned too many times, right? Delhi received some bans, but not too many. Delhi is one of those civs where it's like people are comfortable playing it on open maps, but no one feels it's like OP to ban it. and it gets picked somewhat quickly, so it kind of evades the bans. We got Mongols at 60%, which again, not really a surprise. Played 42 times, banned 56 times. The reason it's not a surprise, this has always been the case with Mongols, and I always said this. Whenever there's hybrid maps in tournaments, Mongol will be picked and Mongol will have high win rate or high ban rate. And that's been the case for the past 2.5 years, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So 60% win rate, and I guarantee you probably 80 or 90% of those games are hybrid maps like Mongolian Heights or Golden Heights or, you know, whatever else. We have Jeanne d'Arc that has 39 games played, banned 57 times, and it has a win rate of 53.8%. So, you know, pretty good. Like I said, it's a pretty good tournament civ. Iobid, 56 times played, 48 bans, so pretty much banned or picked most of the series, more than half of the series. And it has 51.8% win rate, a civ that's doing pretty well. And we're gonna check individual stats a bit later. We got Japanese with just under 50%, not many bans there either. China played quite a bit. And what you can see is a lot of different civs are played quite a bit, which I think is great, and I'll explain why in a second. We got Rus, 45% win rate, and you might be like, wait, Rus and Ottoman, 42% and 45%? What the hell? I thought you said those saves are good. Well, Rus and Ottoman have been banned 158 times, and Ottoman has been banned 155 times. So they're pretty much always banned. And when they're not banned, it was either a mistake to not ban it, or it was not banned against players who don't know how to play those civs, and then they play them and they lose with them. So, yeah. Jushi Legacy, not doing too hot with 41%. They did receive nerfs. Abbasid, 38%. Obviously, Abbasid not great. HRE, not great. And then we have French with 3.6 and English with 7.19. Wow. I actually didn't look at these stats before I recorded this. I did not know that English is performing so bad. Wow, that's very surprising to me. So, now we can see the win rates per map, which also can contribute a lot to the win rates negatively or positively. So, for example, if you look at Iobid, and you can see it being played on every single map almost, that's pretty good for Iobid. It was actually played on every single map. That's a pretty good sign that Civ is not like specialized for one playstyle or one Civ. It's played everywhere. It's all around good Civ. I mean, you can see Abbasid played on like 4 maps, and then it also has a negative win rate, right? So that's not a good sign. Byzantines played quite a bit on a lot of different maps, not every map. China pretty much played on every map, not having positive win rate though in the end. Delhi, you can see it's a more specialized Civ. It's played on 4, 5, 6. I mean, someone played it here, but like 7 maps. But it has pretty high win rate. And then English, what we just saw, has like 27% win rate, which is kind of wild, to be honest. I'm very, very surprised about this. We got French, HRE not doing too great. Japanese played on Dry Arabia quite a bit, 7-1. Holy Island 3-7. So I guess on Holy Island, Japanese is a good Civ, but it's not performing quite as well against some of the other Civs. English is also 1-5 on Holy Island, which is pretty interesting. Then we have JD played on pretty much open land maps, same with Malians. Mongol, another reason why it's such a strong civilization in tournaments is you can play Mongols on pretty much every map except Holy Island, and even there someone played it and actually won the game. Nobody played it on Cliffside, but you can see it's a pretty good Civ. OTD, not played too much, 3 games only. And then we got the last ones. Now, there's another thing we can look at, which is the player win rates. So this is top 20 players right now in the world. And these are their win rates with every civilization. So you can see that here that obviously we don't have a massive game sample to look at and to draw some massive conclusions, but I think it's really cool to look at. So the top 2 players with the highest win rate in the tournament are me and Marine Lord with 17 wins, 4 losses, and you can see our civs right here. Ayubid has a win rate of 51.8%, but out of those 29 wins, 7 are from Marine Lord, which is quite a lot, and he's 7-0 with them. So he's kind of carrying that. Then we has Byzantines, the other civs. He also has pretty good win rate with Mongols. If you look at me, I have 4-0 with Delhi, 3-0 with English. So this is the funny part. I have 3 wins with English, and English has 7 wins total. So basically, half of the wins that English has had in the past 2 weeks in God knows how many best of 3s, half of the wins are mine, which is kind of wild. Wait, Vortex has the other 3 wins? Wait, nobody won any games with English except me winning 3, Vortex winning 3, and Baltune winning 1. That's crazy. What the hell? That's actually... I've never seen that in the past... Oh my god, Numenon is 0-5. I've never seen that in the past tournaments where like a Civ is performing so badly, but then like 2-3 players have high win rate. That's crazy. When you look through it, I have 4 with Delhi, 3-0 with English, 1-1 with HRE. One of the 2 wins with OTD that exist, one of them is mine and one of them is Louis, and then B has 1 loss. So OTD has only 3 games played. I have a decent winner with Malians, decent winner with Mongols. So I'm not gonna go through every single player. I just kind of wanted to show you that. Now, what I find really cool, and this is the best part about Age of Empires 4 as a game to me at a competitive level, is when we had 8 civs, people were playing what's overpowered. You know, like what's strongest, what's the best, right? People didn't really, like, if French was good on a map, you pick French. You don't give a shit what's countered, right? Because it's only 8 civs, so you just went for it. And we had a lot of mirror matches. This is before Malian and Ottoman came out. Then Malian and Ottoman came out, and they brought a little bit of diversity in what players are picking, kind of trying to counterpick. But now with 16 civilizations, what's happening is there is not only a lot of metagaming and counterpicking in the games and tournaments. Like, people are not necessarily picking the best civ for the map. They're picking a counter to the best civs on that map, right? So there's a lot of, thinking, a lot of strategizing. Now, my favorite part, like I said, about Age of Empires 4, and I thought this might happen when the 6 new civs were announced, is that people will not be playing what's best. And I thought that the civ picks will be diluted for players in a positive way, where people will not be like, top 5 players are not going to be like, oh, this, and this is OP, I'm just going to play that. People are kind of leaning into their styles, and people are playing civs that they feel good with, right? That they feel matches their style. If they're aggressive, they go for aggressive civs. If they're passive, they go for passive civs, which I think is really good for the game. Because the longer Age of Empires 4 goes, you will see, a player that's like playing China, Abbasid, Jushi Legacy, like more macro civs. And you're going to see a player that plays Castle Rush civs. Kind of like those are his main civs. So if you look at these win rates, you see Marine Lord is very into like Ayubid, Japanese, Mongol. Those are his top 3 civs, right? Then you have, I play pretty much every civ, to be fair. Some more, some less successful. But you can see I play English, which nobody plays, right? And I'm doing really well with it. And I'm not looking at it and saying, oh, English sucks, I'm not going to play it. I play it because I feel comfortable with it. I played OTD for the same reason. I play HRE for the same reason, even though I went 1-1, which I think is amazing. Then you have a little bit of a shift, right? You have Papi Paw, who's playing, actually, he hasn't played as many games in the tournament, but he is playing a lot of Byzantines, and he played China 5 times, and he went 5-0 with China, which I think is really, really cool. Then you have Louis, who played China only twice, played Ayubid once, didn't even play English, only played Delhi 2 times, but he is 7-0 with Jeanne d'Arc. 7-0. He's played 7 matches out of 9 matches in group stage, because probably it was either picked or banned against him, and he won every single match. And that's what I mean with not every player is like only playing JD. If you look here, Marine Lord hasn't played a single Jeanne d'Arc game. A single one. I played one and I lost, right? And then you have some players that are very much leaning into it. Wham is 5-0 with Jeanne d'Arc and 4-0 with Byzantines. Wham didn't play Delhi at all, didn't play English at all. He played some Mongol, he played no Malians. And I think that's really fucking cool. And I think the longer the game goes, you will see more and more of this. So again, you can see Vortex played a lot of Japanese, a lot of JD, a lot of English, and Delhi. So again, another unique pool of civs that he has had compared to everyone else. And you can see that nobody has same pool of civs. Everyone's playing their own thing. And we see Anoten right here, who's playing a lot of China and a lot of Japanese and a lot of Jushi Legacy. He is actually, if you look at Jushi Legacy, nobody has played it here. You guys can't see it. Nobody. And then he has 5 games with it, which is, again, really cool. Then we have B, who has played Delhi the most, but he kind of played every civ. He has like 1 or 2 games with every civ. So again, very cool. You have Demu, who plays a lot of Delhi, a lot of Byzantines as well. Magic, who is playing a lot of Ayubid. Zerton's playing a lot of Ayubid. Magic is also playing a lot of China. So all these things combined, I think, are really, really cool, because we are at a point in Age of Empires 4 where players are they're not saying, yo, this civ is broken, I'm just gonna play it. People are playing what they're comfortable with. Because if we look, right, some people play Ayubid a lot, some people play Byzantine a lot, some people play China a lot, some people play Delhi a lot, some people play English a lot. Lucifer even played French, right? That's his comfort pick. Some people play Japanese, some people play JD. My point is, these civs are not all 50% win rate, right? Some civs are better than others, but now it's more of not which civ is the best, it's which player is the best with which civ. And the interesting thing that happened, most of the group stage, I had 9 matches, and most of the group stage people were banning Rus and Ottoman against me, but something interesting happened in my last series against Lucifron. Lucifron did not ban Ottoman nor Rus against me, which is considered the 2 strongest civs in the game. What he did ban is he banned my Delhi and he banned my Mongol right here. So he banned the 2 civs that I'm very, very comfortable with, and he said, look, I'm not going to ban the strongest civ, I'm going to ban the civ that he is really strong with or a civ that he really likes. And I think that in the future, in AOE4, you're going to see a lot more of that and less of like banning the same civs over and over. And he lost? Well, yeah, but that's because I play every civ. That's why I do well in tournaments, because I play every civ. But the point stands, right? You're gonna focus banning civilizations that the player is good at rather than which civilization is good on that map or whatever else. And I think that's really cool. Out of all RTS games that I've played, I think this is personally my favorite thing about Age of Empires 4 competitive, is that we're now at an era where, you know, if we get more civs this year, this will only go, you know, even deeper, where it's like, let's say we get another 6 civilizations, which would be crazy, but let's say we do. Then we have more Castle Rush civs, more eco civs, and then players might go from playing like 2 aggro civs and 2 passive civs. They might just say, you know what, I'm just gonna go aggro and I'm just gonna play all aggro civs. I think that's really cool, and I love it, and I love AOE4. What are you gonna do about it? But that's it. I wanted to make this video just to talk to you guys about this. There's a new patch coming, so Ottoman's getting nerfed, Byzantines is getting buffed. I think in the next patch, we're probably looking overall at Rus being pretty good, Ottoman probably being pretty good. Byzantine, I think, is going to be really good. Ayubid, Delhi, Mongol, Mali, and JD. A lot of good civs, which is great news. The more OP civs we have, the less OP civs there are. Think about that. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Check me out on Twitch. I'm probably live right now. Twitch gamers, let's keep going, brother.